Newtown's town historian Dan Cruson has been slowly but surely moving into his new space at Edmontown Hall, where he will be having somewhat regular office hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays after the first of the year. One of the reasons that Mr. Cruson was particularly happy to receive this space is the vault.
Welcome to my office, such as it is, complete with some historic furniture, such as the couch that you see here, that is an 1840s couch from the Second Empire period. That belongs to the Newtown Historical Society. Come on into the vault itself and you can begin to see what we're just beginning to put together for the town of Newtown. The shelves are now fairly bare, but before too long, within a month or two, they will be filled with things like the ledgers that you see here on top of the map cases. These ledgers represent the business paper for the red brick store down in Sandy Hook, in existence from 1837 up until the 1960s. These are the accounts and the history of that red brick store during that entire period. These now belong to the Newtown Historical Society, but will be here in the vault where they can be consulted by people, researchers who are interested in seeing them, and also contribute to essays that I am writing on the businesses in town. So it's a ready source of material, and now it will be in a safe environment in this vault, which was climate controlled and fireproof, where they will be protected, but where they will be accessible during the hours which I'm here. People can come in and look through these particular ledgers. The ones that you see over here on the shelf, where we've just begun putting them together, are the ledgers for Curtis Packaging. Originally a button and comb manufacturer down in the Berkshire area off Route 34. It is now Curtis Packaging. It was then Curtis & Sons, and this is the account of their business from 1845 up down to the 1980s. But we're also collecting other material as well. For example, before they were thrown out, one of the clerks in the education office had spotted these Board of Education summaries for each one of the schools in town, the old one-room schoolhouse. This is for 1901. And it tells us that Carlos Stilson, who was the teacher at the Huntingtown School, down near where the synagogue is today, had taught, and it gives the list of the time he spent teaching during this fall term, the winter term, and the spring term, plus the number of his students, and plus how much he was being paid. So it gives us more information on the teachers in town and how they functioned in these different one-room schoolhouses. And this box is filled with them coming from 1878 all the way up to the 1920s and the end of the school system. The Bronson papers. These were given to us by Tad Sanford, given to the Historical Society by Tad Sanford over in Reading, and in them contain the papers of a doctor that we knew almost nothing about until these papers arrived, Dr. William H. Bronson. In this are family papers and sermons that he had given, as well as notes that he had taken when he was in college in the 1850s. But scattered in them, in addition to such things as some photographs of the family, was also this little journal that was taken by Bronson's daughter, his eldest daughter, in 1875. And in this she records her everyday events for most of that year. Now I know, because I had done some background work on her beforehand, that she dies within a few months of ending this journal in the summer of 1875, and she dies of consumption. In the pages that you see here, she talks about a constant cold that she has that hangs on for 3 or 4 weeks, a chest cold. Now, from my historic perspective, I know that she was dying at the time of consumption, and what she was writing here was the symptoms of that disease that would eventually kill her. But I know that, but she didn't when she was writing this part of the journal. Now, we're not only interested in history, but we're also interested in prehistory. This is a 3/4 grooved axe, for example, that was found down near the Monroe line in Newtown. It's been dated by Lucy Lavin up at the American Indian Institute at being about 6,000 years old. And you can actually see the wear where the handle had gone on this grooved axe. You can see where it is worn. And also the chips out along the edge where it hit something hard and had taken chips out of the rock. But this is a tool and implement that was used here in that period from about 6,000 years ago until somewhat more recently, which will be on display here eventually, along with other Indian artifacts that had come from the town and other historical artifacts as well, so that it'd pay to have you drop in on Tuesdays or Thursday afternoons after the first of the year to see what we're up to.